We might have learned sooner what Aldo Leopold knew, that the earth is a community to which we belong, and we owe it a kind of family responsibility.
You quoted once Chief Luther Standing Bear saying that only the white man sees this territory as wild, to be tamed.
Mm-hmm. There was no wilderness here until you fellas came, essentially. This was the place we lived, that's all. I think that's right. Wilderness, of course, is a philosophical concept, and it begins as a place of terror, and by now it has come to be a place of sanctuary, more or less, from the things that we have created.
You've seen a change in the environmental activists, a change from preservation and protection to pollution control?
Yeah, that of course was bound to come because pollution becomes very apparent. Air pollution, when you can't breathe, your eyes water and old people die and so on, is nothing you want to live with. And water pollution, you don't want your children drinking Love Canal water. Those are things that got the public upset very, very early. I don't think that a lot of the people who are upset about those things understand really much about conservation, because conservation is actually a whole philosophy of land use, air use, water use, and, if necessary, the management to prevent the kinds of things that bring on air pollution and water pollution. Land health would involve something like that primitive attitude toward the earth, in which you conceive yourself to be part of a very intricate mix of everything, in which dependencies can hardly be traced. They're so complex. It's as complex probably as our genetic system for any individual. And everything that operates within a forest or within some kind of ecosystem has some kind of linkage and dependency upon something else. And that includes us. We don't know by any means the kinds of usefulness that many kinds of plants, for instance, in the Amazon jungle, have for us. There are medicinal plants that we could probably use. We cut them down and burn them up. This is just reckless, completely reckless. And we have been reckless on this continent particularly, and in the West. We were reckless a long time. I think we're probably less reckless than we were, but it's getting late. Once I was reading Marcus Aurelius, and he turns out to have been one of the earliest of environmentalists. The Meditations. What is bad for the beehive, he said, cannot be good for the bee. And we are doing things that are bad for the beehive.
What kind of change in human thought can we go through to where we change our image of the stewardship of the land?
It seems to me we rotate slowly by what I hope are inevitable rotations back toward the attitude of primitive people toward the earth. And primitive people who saw gods everywhere in waterfalls and in the earth and in the birds and the animals had a sense of reverence and respect which kept them from doing the kinds of things we do. I think probably we have to learn that. I suppose it's a religious conversion that's called for.